Just massive disruption.
Something bad happened.
It's danger time.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Block Party Trading's BTC Daily Analysis. And straight off the bat, you can see off my chart, not a great deal has changed from yesterday. We are coming to the third and final part of the consolidation symmetrical triangle, which means one or two things usually. And this is basically, we're going to see a big movement one way or another. There's speculation that we're going to see a big dump, and there's much speculation that we're going to see a great big pump back to the all-time high and possibly beyond. As you can see on my chart, I'm definitely leaning towards the bullish sentiment. Since about the 14th of January, I printed on this line, and we've kind of followed that. You know, it's not reading a crystal ball here. We're just simply following, predicted trend lines and paying attention to support and resistance. I said around about the 13th of January that Bitcoin is quite obviously respecting these support and resistance lines very, very well. So we're just basically following tried and tested chart analysis, really. I'm not going to spend too much time on fundamentals today. We do have one big thing which is happening, which is Biden's inauguration. Last time we saw the Democrats really do anything. We saw America basically start to melt a bit, and people tried to take over the Capitol building. However, interesting what that happened, there was a hell of a lot of volatility within the market. We actually saw Bitcoin spike to about 40K. So could we see something similar again? Hey, possibly. Decentralized finance, it's kind of one of those things where people might want to start to get money out of their banks and shift it into the crypto sphere. Hey, which is excellent for us, because with that, if Bitcoin spikes, and then generally alts tend to follow. So excellent news. But this is one of the key reasons why I'm leaning a little bit more towards the bullish sentiment. That, and again, my buzzwords, stimulus checks, are still yet to properly drop. And, we saw a humongous spike in price, a humongous gradual spike, should I say, in price the last time that happened. So let's have a look at more the technical side of things. As we can see, we are, as mentioned, at the third and final part of the consolidation triangle. If we break up this upper trend line, then we're going to see some big movement upwards. We can see that there is consolidation down here. Very, very nice consolidation on the volume. So we're expecting a big spike up, and there's going to be a big movement one way or the other. You can see on the alpha wave that we are just almost tracking below the 50 or the halfway point. The alpha wave comprises of many different oscillators, including MFI, stock, RSI, and a bunch of other stuff in the background. Gives a great indication of where we're going. The printed fear and greed index is saying that we are pretty much at the top end of the spectrum, so we are expecting a correction pretty soon. I don't think anyone has to be a genius to figure that out with where Bitcoin's price is at the moment. As we can see, the MACD is pretty much flatlining. You can see that this is a great indication of consolidation when there's very little waves either side. So with that in mind, the last kind of thing to look at is the volume profile is almost pretty much, we're at the center of that. We're at the center of the weekly pivot as well. So we are at critical point now, in so much that this is where it picks the direction. This is where it's going to be going. Next up, let's have a quick look at the domination and the current price. As we can see, this is pretty bad news for alts, with the dom rising and the actual price dropping. All we need to do is quickly reference our I'll get on a bit of a nice screen. All we need to do is reference our blueprint on, alts reaction. As we can see right here, dominance is increasing, price is decreasing, and that generally leads to pretty bad news for alts. So with that in mind, make sure that your stop losses are pretty tight. If not, I would probably advise not entering any short-term swing trades today. It could be a scalper's dream market today, to be honest. However, any short-term setups, watch out. Long-term hodls, potentially start thinking about searching for that accumulation, those dip buys. Could be quite lucrative for you. And then finally, let's just have a quick look at the buy and sell walls. can see that there's not a huge amount been going on in the buy and sell walls recently in Bitcoin. I think this is a lot to do with people wanting to see a bit of a direction as to where it's going to be going. The key points that there are simply just up here at 37.6k, and that's 356 Bitcoin. No brainer there. That's at the top, just below the kind of absolute peak, which is where a lot of people will be putting their buys and sells to get out, in or out, before we actually hit that peak. You never want to be putting your buy and sell walls at the absolute peak. Good chance that you'll miss out most of the time. This is where a lot of people will be putting them on the actual close of the candles or close to the close of the candles. If you're looking at the 4 hour, it could be a bit different on the 1 day. We're not going to go into support and resistance in a BTC daily analysis though. So bit of a worrying one down here at 33k, I believe that is. Yep, 400. That's quite a large-ish buy order comparatively at the moment. So sentiment-wise, we could see a bit of a dip and a bounce there, and then we could just start this trend downwards. As we can see, these 3 peaks are going down, so we could start to break this trend upwards, and then this could be the kind of committed direction, and we start that kind of downward trend channel. And then we would be literally tracking down to around about 24k. A lot of the institutions will start selling off slowly, not crazily, but slowly start selling off and realizing their profits. Not terrible news. This is not an unexpected thing. Bitcoin will be seeing a correction and will be dipping back down to that mid 20s, possibly lower region. Will we ever see 10k again? Who knows? That'd be quite nice. I think if we do, then extreme buying pressure will start to come in pretty quickly. A lot of excitement. But in order for it to get down there, I think that will be the time when we start to see a lot of regulations and governance and like negativity and FUD coming in towards crypto, just to really kind of drop that price. But this is good news. This is really good news when we see the price drop to there, because that means it's time to buy. When there's blood in the streets, then buy. So jump back to this final chart as a one last round off. Where do I see Bitcoin going? I sincerely think we're at the bounce now, and I think we're going to start to spike upwards. Once we break past the 36.7k, let's say, I think that we're seriously on for quite rapid movement, and even more so after we start to break this 38k. I think it will just start toppling over these resistances. Anyway, that's my analysis for Bitcoin Daily. Hope you enjoyed it, and remember to come visit our free trading page on Telegram if you're not part of it. We put out awesome free trades daily. We share analysis from the premium. We've got a lot of cool news feeds as well. Give you a bit of a heads up if the market's going to take a dive. For a free channel, there's a hell of a lot of content on there. So come check us out. Anyway, guys, party on.